What if I told you that your hands carry a healing power, a unique and extraordinary capacity that has been quietly sleeping within you, waiting in the deepest layers of your being for precisely the right moment to be remembered and awakened? Your presence here, your willingness to receive these words in this specific moment, is not an ordinary coincidence. Something within you, a quiet compass, a subtle ache, a silent whisper moving through the chambers of your heart, has been guiding you toward this exact moment and this exact message. This is a gift that cannot be memorized from books or purchased with any currency. It can only be remembered. It is awakened slowly and gently from within, like a light that has always been present, but has simply been waiting for someone to turn toward it with genuine intention and genuine readiness. Today, you will discover 5 deep and specific steps that will awaken the spiritual healing ability that has been sleeping in your hands. These 5 steps will not only transform your own inner energy in ways that will permanently alter how you inhabit your own experience. They will also transform you into a pure channel of light and genuine healing for the people in your life who are suffering in ways that words alone cannot reach. Millions of people around the world feel this calling resonating somewhere deep within them. But very few are able to grasp what it actually means to carry this gift, what it truly demands of the person who holds it, and what extraordinary responsibility it places on the heart willing to answer its invitation. This is not merely a psychic skill or an esoteric technique to be learned and applied mechanically. This is a profound responsibility. It is a deep act of love in the most complete sense of that word. And it is a direct and unshakable connection to the divine intelligence that flows through all of creation. If you are genuinely ready to begin opening those ancient interior doors that have been waiting for you, because what you are about to encounter has the power to permanently change the way you see both your life and yourself. There are moments in the human journey when we sense, without any rational explanation and without any external event to account for it, that something within us is shifting, that we have crossed into a different frequency of experience. There is no logical framework that adequately captures this sensation. There is only a quiet but extraordinarily powerful knowing, whispering from somewhere beneath the ordinary noise of daily existence, that our purpose in this world runs considerably deeper than what the surface of our lives has been reflecting back to us. Perhaps you have experienced this many times already. The strange warmth that suddenly rises in the palms of your hands when you are sitting in perfect stillness. The deep and almost overwhelming compassion that swells in your chest when you look at another person who is carrying pain, a compassion you cannot explain and cannot contain. The intuitions that arrive with increasing strength and increasing accuracy, pointing you toward truths that your reasoning mind had not yet caught up with. None of these experiences are accidents. None of them are symptoms of an overactive imagination or evidence of excessive sensitivity. They are the first footsteps of a sacred awakening. They are the wise healer within you calling out, recognizing itself in the mirror of your daily experience, making itself known through the specific language of sensation and knowing that the rational mind cannot entirely translate. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Your greatest and most beautiful journey is the one that leads you back to yourself. Subscribe to Carl Jung philosophy and hit the like button, and let's walk that path together. Thousands of people around the world are living this exact experience right now, feeling it in their hands, in their hearts, in the quality of their attention when they are near someone who is suffering. But they do not yet have the language to name what they are sensing. Spiritual awakening does not always arrive announced by thunder or accompanied by extraordinary visions of light. Sometimes it comes in the deepest darkness of a sleepless night. Sometimes it arrives in the moment when you hold someone who is in pain and feel, without understanding why, that your presence alone is offering them something your words could never provide. Sometimes it comes in a single, deep and conscious breath taken in a moment of perfect quiet, when something inside you recognizes that it was always here, always ready, always larger than the life you have been living. The healing gift does not arrive by breaking down the door. It makes itself known through small and subtle signs that accumulate over time into an unmistakable recognition. Your hands begin to grow warm when there is no physical reason for the warmth. When you touch someone who is carrying grief or physical pain, you feel something of their experience register in your own body, not as a burden, but as information. In your dreams, wise figures appear who seem to be guiding you toward something you are on the verge of understanding. Or you simply begin to notice that people feel different when they are in your presence. Calmer, lighter, more willing to be honest about what they are actually experiencing. All of these are the ways your soul is reminding itself of what it came here to do and to be. What most people have never been told is this: this ability did not just appear in you recently. It is ancient knowledge. It moves in your blood and lives in your cells. It is an inseparable dimension of your spiritual lineage. Carl Jung, the visionary analytical psychologist, understood that humanity shares a collective unconscious, a deep and ancient shared memory that underlies all individual experience. The healing power within you is a direct reflection of what Jung called the archetypal wisdom embedded in that collective memory. The healers who came before you, through whatever tradition and whatever lineage they carried, were already working with this energy, with this spirit, with this specific form of love in action. When you connect with this truth, the elevated vibration you feel in your heart is the confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. Awakening this gift is ultimately the act of remembering who you genuinely are. And the universe, in its extraordinary precision, has chosen this exact moment for you to make that discovery. Leave the number 111 in the comments. In the symbolic and psychological framework that Jung developed across his lifetime, 111 represents the very first awakening, the specific moment when an individual soul first consciously recognizes the gifts it has been carrying without fully knowing it. If something in what you are receiving right now is resonating at a level deeper than ordinary intellectual understanding, if something in you is stirring with the particular quality of recognition rather than simply processing new information, 111 is your signal. Leave it here and let this community witness the moment your awakening began. The first step toward healing with your hands is not learning complex techniques or memorizing mysterious formulas. The genuine beginning occurs when you recognize your own energy, when you actually encounter it, feel it directly, and begin developing a conscious and honest relationship with it. Because you cannot genuinely give to another what you do not yet know you possess. Before you can transmit energy to anyone else, you must first feel it within yourself, bring it to life in your own awareness, and allow it to expand through the sustained practice of genuine attention. Close your eyes for a moment and take a very deep, very slow breath. As you draw that breath in, imagine that the air filling your lungs is not only physical oxygen. Imagine that it is simultaneously penetrating the invisible energy field that surrounds your entire body. The field made of your emotions, your thoughts, your vital force, the accumulated experience of everything you are. Every human being is surrounded by such a field, and it is not static. It expands and contracts with your intentions. It takes shape according to the quality of consciousness you bring to any given moment. Now, rub your hands together briskly for several seconds and feel the warmth building steadily between your palms. Then, slowly draw your hands apart until there is approximately 4 inches of space between them, with both palms facing each other. Very slowly, very gently, begin moving your hands toward each other and away from each other in a rhythmic, deliberate motion. You will begin to feel something between your palms, a subtle resistance, a pleasant tingling, a magnetic pull, a gentle pressure that seems to have its own presence and its own boundaries. What you are perceiving in that moment is your own life energy. You are not constructing this in your imagination. You are making direct physical contact with your own vibration. This simple but profoundly powerful practice connects you immediately and directly to your own essence. It reminds you of the extraordinary energy you are already carrying. Energy that has always been present, waiting to be consciously recognized and consciously directed. As you practice this consistently over time, your own energy field gradually begins to expand and deepen. You become considerably more sensitive to the emotions and energies of those around you. Your intuitions sharpen like a blade that has been carefully honed. Your hands develop a quality of sensitivity that begins to function almost like a precise instrument, capable of sensing what words have not yet named. It is as though your soul is remembering an ancient language it has always known but was never taught to speak consciously. And as the memory returns, the language flows without effort or strain. This first step, however simple it may appear on the surface, is the foundational stone upon which everything else rests. Only the person who has genuinely felt their own light can help another find the light that has grown dim within them. Leave the number 444 in the comments. In the symbolic language informed by the multiple wisdom traditions that shaped Jung's understanding of psychological depth, 444 represents stable and enduring foundation, the specific quality of inner groundedness that forms when you begin building a real and honest relationship with your own energy, rather than remaining a stranger to it. If something in this first step is shifting the quality of how you inhabit your own body and your own awareness, 444 marks that threshold. Leave it here before you touch another person's soul with your hands, before you enter the sacred territory of another human being's energy field. There is a critical understanding you must carry with absolute clarity. Not every energy you are currently holding belongs to you. And not every energy you are carrying right now is clean. Your hands, as extraordinarily powerful as they are as channels for healing, are equally powerful as sponges. They absorb everything in their environment and draw it inward. This is precisely why the second step on this sacred path is the spiritual cleansing of your hands. Energy is never neutral. It does not remain peacefully where it has settled. If you do not cleanse it with genuine intention and genuine regularity, it accumulates and begins to corrupt the very channel it was meant to flow through. Cleansing your hands is not merely a matter of physical hygiene. It is the most tangible expression of the profound respect you carry for yourself, for your own soul, and for the sacred process that healing actually is. There are simple but extraordinarily effective rituals for this cleansing that can be practiced both before and after any energy exchange. One of the oldest and most powerful involves the purifying properties of sea salt and water. Fill a basin with warm water and add a generous spoonful of sea salt. Close your eyes and lower your hands slowly into this water. Repeat inwardly with genuine focus and genuine intention. I am returning all energies that do not belong to me to their rightful sources. I am cleansing myself, purifying myself, and preparing myself to serve only through pure love and clear intention. Remain in this state for several minutes and allow yourself to vividly imagine the salt and the water drawing out every heaviness, every darkness, every exhaustion that your hands have absorbed from others. Then allow your hands to air dry naturally as a symbol of the purification that has occurred. Another deeply effective method involves passing the smoke of cleansing herbs gently around your hands while breathing deeply and with full conscious intention. Visualizing as you do so that the smoke is carrying away everything that no longer serves you. Or you can work with the creative power of your own mind. Visualize a cascade of pure white light descending from above and washing over your hands completely, penetrating deeply into every layer of your energy field. See the dark and heavy residue flowing out through your fingertips as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, see brilliant golden light filling the space where the heaviness had been. These practices build the subtle bridge between the invisible and the visible dimensions of your work. When you perform them with full consciousness and full intention, you are honoring the healer's path in the most fundamental way available. Because before you can be a genuine channel for another person, your own interior must be a pure and cleansed space, a sanctuary rather than a vessel still carrying the weight of what it has received without release. Never forget this. To touch another person's energy is to touch their history, their deepest wounds, their unspoken tears, the most vulnerable dimensions of their soul. And this can only be done with genuine compassion and with hands that have been thoroughly cleansed of what they carried before. Leave the number 528 in the comments. In the vibrational and symbolic framework that extends the archetypal language Jung developed throughout his career, 528 represents the specific frequency of genuine purification, the resonance of a field that has been consciously cleared and prepared to serve as a pure and unobstructed channel. If the practice of cleansing your hands is beginning to feel less like an abstract spiritual concept and more like a genuinely necessary and deeply meaningful act, 528 is your signal. Leave it here. Healing is not something you produce from within yourself and then distribute to others through an act of personal will or personal power. It is something infinitely greater than you, something that uses you as a willing and prepared instrument, flowing through you rather than from you. The energy itself does not originate with you. You are simply the channel that allows it to move from its source to the person who needs it. And to fulfill this function with full integrity and full effectiveness, you must learn to connect yourself, consciously and deliberately, to the divine source that is the ultimate origin of all light, all love, and all genuine healing. If you attempt to give from your own personal energy reserves without establishing this connection first, you will exhaust yourself with a thoroughness and a speed that will surprise you. You will deplete yourself rapidly, and the quality of what you offer will remain limited to whatever your own reserves currently contain. But when the divine channel opens within you, when you align yourself genuinely and completely with the source, the energy flows with the effortless abundance of a river that has found its natural course. No forcing, no straining, simply the natural and generous movement of what was always meant to flow. This energy begins at the source above, entering gently through the very crown of your head, flowing down along the length of your spine, and coming to rest in the center of your heart. From there, from that sacred center of love and compassionate intention, it spreads outward through your arms and pours through your hands into the world. In that moment, your hands are no longer merely your own physical instruments. They become the earthly vehicles of divine compassion, the means through which something infinitely greater than your individual self reaches out toward those who are suffering. To open this divine channel, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Take 3 very deep, very slow breaths with full conscious attention. Place your hands one over the other on your chest, directly over your heart. Visualize a stream of brilliant golden white light descending from the highest point of the sky and entering through the crown of your head. Feel how this light settles and expands in the center of your heart. Draw it inward with each breath. Notice the warmth that begins to build within your chest as the light takes hold. Now imagine that same light flowing outward from your heart, moving down through your shoulders, your arms, into your palms. Your hands begin to tingle, to warm, to fill with a frequency that is not entirely yours, but that embraces you with a love far larger than any individual source could produce. Repeat inwardly as you hold this experience. I am a pure channel for divine love and divine light. This healing flows from its source, transforms through the love in my heart, and moves through my hands into the world. The more consistently you practice establishing this connection before any healing work, the more natural and automatic it becomes. Eventually, the simple act of forming the intention to help someone will cause your chest to fill with peace and your hands to begin vibrating with the warmth and the readiness that signals your channel is clean, open, and in full alignment with its source. You have felt your own energy. You have cleansed your hands of what they were carrying. You have opened the divine channel within your heart. Now comes the fourth step, the moment most anticipated and perhaps most feared, the actual transmission of healing. But this is not the superficial act of placing your hands on someone and waiting for a miracle to materialize. Healing is an act of extraordinary awareness, of profound respect for the soul of the person in front of you, and of a spiritual connection whose depth cannot be faked or performed. The most widely known method of energy transmission involves direct and gentle physical contact. You place your hands softly on the area where the person is experiencing pain, grief, or energetic blockage. You never press. You never apply force. When your heart is fully focused on the genuine well-being of this person, on their healing rather than on your performance as a healer, the energy finds its own path with a precision that does not require your direction. The real work is done by your complete presence in that moment and by the absolute purity of your intention. Another deeply effective method involves circular energy guidance, used when you want to balance and cleanse a person's energy field without necessarily making direct physical contact. Moving your hands in slow, conscious, clockwise circles several inches above specific areas of the body, the head, the chest, the abdomen, gathers and reorganizes scattered energy with a gentleness that produces a profound quieting in the person receiving it. Many report feeling a quality of serenity descend over them that they have not experienced in years. The sweeping technique is powerful for removing dense, heavy energies that have accumulated and attached themselves to a person's field over time. Using long, delicate movements from the head downward toward the feet, or from the shoulders down through the arms, you draw the accumulated weight away from the person's field. With each movement, you consciously release what you have gathered into the universe, shaking your hands gently at the end of each stroke to free whatever was lifted. What is most extraordinary about all of these methods is that physical contact is not even required for the person to feel the effect deeply. Many people report a sudden wave of warmth moving through them. Others feel a coolness that carries inexplicable relief. Others become aware of a fine shiver moving through their body, and the sensation of a weight they had forgotten they were carrying finally lifting from their shoulders. But here is the most sacred rule of this entire path, a rule that must never be forgotten or compromised under any circumstances. A genuine healer never, under any conditions, enters another person's energy field without their explicit consent and their genuine openness to receiving. Healing cannot be imposed as an act of unsolicited kindness. No matter how great the suffering you perceive in someone before you, there must first be a clear, voluntary, freely given opening from their own heart and their own will. The gift in your hands is a grace. But like every true spiritual gift, it flowers only in the hearts of those who approach it with humility, with appropriate boundaries, and with a profound respect for the absolute freedom of others to choose their own path and their own timing. Leave the number 777 in the comments. In the symbolic language of quantum consciousness and the deep archetypal framework that informed Jung's entire understanding of the relationship between individual development and collective healing, 777 represents the alignment of the healer's individual consciousness with its highest possible expression. The moment when the gift in your hands stops being something you manage or control and becomes something you simply allow, receiving it with the same openness with which you offer it. If something in this fourth step has shifted your understanding of what healing actually is and what it actually asks of the person who carries it, 777 is your signal. Leave it here. And now we arrive at the fifth step, the dimension of this journey that most people never discover because they believe the process ends when the healing session ends. In reality, the most vital part of the entire process is what happens after. The specific practice of sealing your energy and protecting your own field as a genuine and sustainable healing channel. Because offering your love and your energy to another person is one thing. Knowing how to close that opening at the right moment and in the right way is something else entirely. And without this knowledge, even the most gifted healer will eventually find themselves carrying burdens that were never meant to be theirs. Carl Jung made a very clear observation in his deep psychological work that is directly relevant here. The human mind and the human soul are extraordinarily susceptible to absorbing the unconscious suffering, the shadow material, and the unprocessed traumas of others. If an individual does not establish clear and conscious psychological boundaries, they will gradually drown in the collective pain of those they are trying to help, eventually losing contact with their own center and their own authentic self. In the dimension of energy work, this is precisely what happens when a healing channel is opened and then left open after the work is complete. After a healing session, your energetic doors remain fully open. The channels you opened to allow the flow to occur will, if not gently and intentionally closed, continue, drawing toward you the unresolved emotions, the invisible sorrows, the fears and grief of the person you worked with, accumulating in your field without your awareness until the weight begins making itself known through unmistakable symptoms. A heaviness in the morning so profound that leaving your bed feels impossible. An insomnia whose source you cannot identify. A sudden, inexplicable tightening in your chest. An irritability and intolerance that seem to arrive from nowhere. But the ancient healers, those wise individuals who understood this path from lived experience rather than theory, knew exactly how to protect themselves from this accumulation. The simplest and most immediate method is this. Immediately after any energy work ends, shake your hands firmly downward with strong and clear intention, exactly as you would shake invisible water or dust from your palms. As you do this, repeat inwardly, "I am lovingly releasing every energy and every burden that does not belong to me and that I am not required to carry." Then place your hands over your heart. Draw one long, deep breath, and in the silence of your own heart, offer gratitude to the source that made this work possible, to your own body that served as the channel, and to the soul who trusted you enough to receive what you offered. Now imagine a brilliant golden shield of light descending from above and enveloping your entire being from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. A luminous and impenetrable cocoon through which nothing harmful can enter. Seal this shield inwardly with these words, "I am complete. I am safe within my own center. I am closing my healing channel with love. My boundaries are protected and open only to pure love." Another deeply effective method involves slowly passing your hands 3 times along the outline of your own body, from head to feet, several inches above the surface of your skin, and with each pass, repeating inwardly, "I am whole. I am sealed. I am at peace." Protecting yourself in this way is the highest wisdom available to any healer. See your body as a sacred trust and your energy as a holy garden that requires both cultivation and protection. It is not enough to know how to open the doors. You must equally know how to close them with the same care and the same conscious intention. It is not enough to give. You must also know how to keep your own